everything that I acquire my crew and my ship.
I'm going to look at him. I'm going to pull a brochure out of my pocket and kind of look over this brochure for a few moments. He'll probably recognize it as being like the Board of Tourism brochure for this entire town.
Right.
And I'm going to cast an illusion and make myself look like the head captain, now that I know what he looks like, of the city.
Okay.
I'm just going to stare at him and just sort of like fiddle at the scar under my eye patch eye. He's like,
You're looking at my eye.
He
bigger
laughs.
I just say bigger aspirations.
He laughs and claps, and he's very entertained by this whole exchange. And he says, "I love it, a man with ambitions." And he does this real quick like gesture down with his hands down and out, and the illusion that you've cast on yourself dispels, and you're now a toad sitting on top of the table. And then he dispels that as well, and you're back to your normal self. And he says, "But mere illusions don't feed into aspirations as well as we would like them to. I'm afraid this is, if you want the title of Sea Lord, is more than likely you're going to have to earn it. You have to have a name and a ship and a title, and it's a long path. It's an ambitious one, I will give you that. And you seem like the type of person that would take it well. But I don't think it's going to be something that is acquired tonight."
Likely not.
But I will. He says, "I will help you on those steps, though."
I will just kind of iterate that, like, I don't intend on or expect to get one over on a man of my own speed. But a man of my own speed rarely is the one I need to get one over on.
He nods, and that is a fair assessment. And I will tell you what, if we make a deal now, when we come back to port, when you have made a name for yourself, and you have made a ship and a crew and a reputation, your legend and shadow have grown long, and you are ready to take up the mantle of Sea Lord, if you set me up in a nice house with a nice servant girl or three, I could see helping you spin that tale.
A Sea Lord needs his counsel.
He does indeed.
Here's a question. If we are managed to get rid of our collars and somehow shirk our responsibilities to the powers that we were going on the quest for, would you be willing to deal with the likelihood of them coming after us?
How will they know? They think you will die if you don't return anyway.
Here's my thoughts.
Possible.
Like, total out of character. If we can get rid of our collars and shirk, our responsibilities of finding Mogden and the people who tasked us with that, I think the only thing fair and just would be killing everyone on that city's council who sent us on this task and then running that city. Being a pirate sea lord sounds nice. I'd rather run the city that I was banished from, just for poetic justice.
Well, out of character, if you were Sea Lord, sure you could facilitate the funds to, fund an armada to go take down Fraymore.
Probably get close enough shorewise to offshore bombard.
So, it could be a means to an end.
And as the life drains from the last council member's eye, I will shake them by their collar and say, "It's called Dougalshire now."
So he looks. I guess he's done talking to Gingy. He's got Gingy's or Dr. Vitus's requirements for this to be a thing. He looks to yonder. He says, "Well, I make the same offer to you if you come and help me captain my ship or not captain, help me crew my ship, help me sail the seas, help me live my dream. I will free you of your burdens. You are changing, sure, one chain for another, but it's a lighter, easier to break chain."
I mean, yeah, your priorities do sound in line with a lot of our own. I would go willingly. Do you? I mean, do you need more than 4, or?
We would need a full crew, sir. I intend to sail the largest galleon I can lay my hands on.
I mean, we did come into town with a tailor, but other than that, do you have no other prospective crew members?
He smiles, and it's a kind of definitely an underlying devious smile. He says, "Oh, there are always prospective crew members.
Yeah.
You just have to know who's already passed out."
Right. Well, if we're looking for drunks, I've heard of a dwarf that might need to do some escaping. But yeah, this sounds good to me. We should talk to our compatriots, but
outside
I
counsel, I think would be prudent.
Yeah.
Your friend who stormed off insulted me. So for him, the cost of removing his collar is a dinner and a spot on my ship. He has to buy me a dinner. That seems fair for the insult of walking away instead of telling me a story.
Bapwor's not going to survive long meeting up with.
I don't think.
I think
I'm just like.
the spear through his chest. Just a prediction.
I think he would rather kill you.
That's that would leave me dead, and you in the same predicament you're currently in.
No worse off is what you're telling me.
That's right.
Eh.
But no better off either.
Story of our life.
Oh, the choices we make.
How about we meet back here in 3 days' time?
I can do that. That is, I have nowhere else to go, and I can walk the docks and eyeball a galleon for myself. I'm sure I can find 3 or 4 that pique my interest.
I did. Ow!
So he says, and with that, he kind of gets up and walks off. Cypher, did you you left the restaurant? Did you stay right outside, or did you go anywhere specific?
No, I walked off away from the situation. I figured they're in a crowded bar, so there's no real worry of them being rushed by a group of people. But at the same time, I didn't want to stick around and eventually turn around and stab guy in the face with a spear. So I thought it was best to just walk away.
Okay,
I just wandered.
All right, wanted to make sure you weren't standing outside like waiting on him to come out or nothing.
No.
Right on. All right.
And that's the first thing I'm going to go do is track down Garen, because I do respect his counsel
Okay.
as being someone who kind of keeps us in line sometimes, because he's so goddamn black and white. Sometimes it brings you back to what's important.
All right.
Oh, I can't.
So,
Like, what should we do? Punish evil. Oh, okay.
So you track him down, and he's out wandering the streets of Old City when you find him.
Like, no side is safe.
Okay. So I will let him know, like, well, we heard what Laughing Boy had to say, and you might be interested in hearing it as well.
I don't know if anything that he would say would be worth our time, but what did he say?
I'm just gonna kind of point at my collar, like, you might be able to remove these, and without months
I can
of
see it.
travel.
Not
In
yet.
exchange for what?
His exchange seemed more reasonable than our current exchange. He
So-
wants us to help him get a ship so he can be a captain.
So in exchange for removing the collars, he wants us to help him get a ship. That's all.
Get a ship and a crew for the ship.
Why does he need us for that?
I think he was just looking for something to exchange. He was looking for a barter. His goals and ambitions past that point, I
That's clearly it.
frankly didn't care enough to ask.
So he turned to a group of strangers to try and help him find somebody to help him pilot a ship in a town full of pirates.
Well, he didn't just choose any random person off the street. That's partially my doing, as we were in the same performers guild and just began to speak before he informed us of some people he works for are kind of aware of our current task.
What do you mean aware of our current task?
Have been informed of what we're seeking.
And how would they know that, considering the only people that told us were the people that sent us on this task to begin with?
It seems to be an opposing force to the people who sent us on this task, and there's been a stacking set of evidence to make us think that the people who sent us on this task might not be up to any good. Might be even evil, if pressed.
So all he wants is for us to get him a crew and a ship, and that's all.
Wasn't doing too bad, that second
Seems to
one,
be.
or this last
What he
one.
does with that power once he has it is
Didn't die. Well, no, I did die.
not something I concern myself with.
When would he take off the collar?
I told him to, I wanted your counsel on this matter as far as our current path versus this potential divergent path, and that we would meet him in 3 days' time to discuss more details if we were interested. But personally, would rather see the people who put these collars on us in a pile of fire, but the his goals seem to be less suspicious than the people who sent us on this task. What would the city council need with
Yeah.
legendary level powers
Oh.
when all he seeks is a ship and a crew?
Again, that's what he does.
We got these collars put on us because we committed crimes, and it was a punishment. It wasn't. They didn't pull us off the street and slap these on us without us being involved in some magnitude. So
No. But do you think the punishment matches the crime?
I killed a man. So yes, I do think it matches the crime.
We don't know to what... If we were to come back with that information to those people, what do you think they would do with it?
You mean the information that at the city that we're going to investigate?
Yes. If it
Well-
exists and it is able to make, god pin level legendary weaponry that could potentially alter reality, what do you think people would do with that information?
My concern is that if you consider the circumstance that we're faced with now, if they were able to get that information on their own and have a use for it, why would they send us? They're not capable of getting it. That's why they sent us. So your concern is once we go back to them and tell them where it is and what we've seen, that they're somehow going to just go straight through and not deal with the conflicts that we dealt with and then do something with it.
Honestly, yes. We're disposable.
And they're a bunch of bureaucrats without the ability to handle themselves outside of the city walls. What threat will they really be trying to get there?
They don't see themselves as willing to use resources on a hunch. But if we came back with evidence, they could throw their already considerable money and power at the task, when the only thing they're throwing on the hunch is, in their eyes, disposable criminals.
So you're feeling that putting your faith in somebody we have absolutely no knowledge about is better than putting your faith into a devil that we do know, is what you're saying.
I don't
I'm
know
not so
either
sure we know
party.
yeah.
I don't know either party. I just feel the risk of bringing these people back information on Mogden could be very destructive, while the risk if Plan B turns out to be dishonest or untrue, we've left a man with a ship. That seems a far more manageable set of circumstances than leaving a council with god pins.
Well, I don't disagree that giving those people would be giving those people power makes sense. However, I still don't trust your friend.
I don't either. I'm just weighing the
Additionally-
potential circumstances.
I'm not certain exactly if I was misinterpreting him, but it sounded to me like he wanted us to be among the crew.
And I could have misinterpreted his intentions as well. I just thought he meant a crew, whether we were a part of that or not. If we were, there would be less people for us to find.
Yeah.
I see.
I didn't interpret that as we must be part of his crew.
I see.
Only he needed a crew.
His statement deal before you started going on other things was just, ship, I need a crew, port to sail to, but I don't care about the port. I need a ship and a crew. You help me find a crew, get me a ship. I'll hook you up with the guy who might be able to take those collars off your neck. Because he never successfully removed a collar. The collar had blown up around the guy's neck. He took the blown up collar to this guy. The guy analyzed it. That's all he said.
And I wouldn't be willing to lift a finger for this person until the collar's already off.
Yeah.
No, and that's just the way I see it. Let's just make an assumption right now that both parties who want to use us are evil. If party A is evil, we're giving evil the means to do great and terrible things. If party B is evil, we're giving evil a ship. That seems like consequences I could deal with far more than giving god-level weaponry to evil. I don't trust him either. Not suggesting we even should. I'm just suggesting if both parties are bad, I would rather give party B a ship than party A a god pin.
Here's a suggestion. If we were to cooperate with this fellow and find him a ship and a crew, what would you think about going back to the last town we were just in, as frightening and terrible as that may be, but to have him attempt to work on the collar within an area that might be safe, assuming we could find it again.
Not sure I follow. Have the
if
collars
he were to
removed
somehow,
in that town?
Correct. If he were to somehow fail, and the collar were to go off, we would likely be much better off if we were within the bounds of that town than somewhere else.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Though, the town didn't offer immortality, only a life free of disease, and if this collar detonated and it took our throat and head with it, I don't think the magic of that town is going to fix that.
And it seemed like after you, I don't know, I know for sure Olga was banned from it when she used the magic of the town. She did violence, but it seemed like once you chose to leave the town, you can't come back.
I'm not sure on the details of that. If we left the town peacefully, I'm not sure if we would be prevented from returning or not.
Yeah, it's probably not a good thing to count on, but
No, but it's an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you know about this guy besides his offer?
I know the people he worked for. Thank you, English. The people he do work for are very interested parties in the God Pins, which is another reason that I would not want to bring up the subject of Mogden or the God Pins in his presence, because he seems to work for very interested parties in the subject. Says that some people he believes are wanting to use the God Pins to undo the world, and other people are wishing to keep that from happening. So this group he works for seem to be more interested in the not blowing up the world than the pursuit of it.
Because that guy once has Shiva available.
But again, where I'm coming from is just don't trust either parties, assume both parties are evil, and then weigh the consequences.
No, I have to do striking trees first, but
He
Yeah,
claims he claims his people are aware that you're in possession of a God Pin, but I had nothing but denials of that. Because I don't want...
How would they know that?
Precisely.
He displayed some magical skill. I am definitely sure that if he has that level of magical skills, some of his superiors might have even more. It's definitely not uncommon for people that practice magic to be able to find out things like that unbeknownst to someone else.
I denied it forthright, and if a group is interested in the God Pins, in either to use them or stop them, frankly, I don't want to give up the information that we are in possession of one. I don't think that's information anybody needs to know.
Yeah.
But that's what we know of him and who he represents, which is more than we could say about the council who put us on this suicide mission.
Yeah, and a lot of their, if I remember correctly, it's been a while, but they seem to be very liberal in their assigning of crimes to people.
Yeah, from what you remember, they more like you were a tool to get a job done. The crime doesn't necessarily need to fit the punishment kind of stance on everything.
Because what wasn't Yonder's crime like letting a horse go?
Yeah.
Or something? Yeah. Yeah, for that we make you a slave for at least a year and send you into almost certain death. You, on the other hand, killed somebody. That seems a fairly good... But wait a minute. Your Honor, that's like saying littering equals murder in the first. It's not quite fair.
I don't see them as being just distributors of punishment so much as gathering of disposable, tools.
Yeah.
Right. So they've kind of shown that they don't really have a lot of respect for life. I would be, if I had to guess, I'd say that they're not interested in keeping the God Pins safe from the wrong hands.
Are you trying to convince me that the people that we were sent by are not to be trusted? Because you're wasting your breath. I already know this.
Right. So if we were to become unbeholden to them, it would be in our best interest.
I don't disagree. However, the path to which you want to become, as you say, unbeholden, is a danger I am uncertain of, and therefore not so keen on taking on.
And that's why we haven't agreed to do anything. We respect your counsel.
Right.
Like you, I want to get this collar removed. That is the purpose of the reason why we are out here. And I understand that this seems like a good idea, but the fact that this stranger who you just met seems to know a whole lot about us and we don't know anything about him
Mm-hmm.
gives me reason not to trust him and want to work with him. I don't
Sure.
like that kind of a situation, so... But you say all he wants is a ship and a crew.
He seems like he wants a life outside of his current. He wants to no longer be a guy in this town. He wants to be a respectable captain.
Then he doesn't want to like go level his characters.
Well, he grew up in the suburbs and wants to see the real world, so...
Pretty much. Yeah, I'm not suggesting we trust him. I'm just suggesting as a plan B, it doesn't seem like the worst alternative I've ever heard in my life.
Let's have event canceled.
I want to know how he's going to get the collars off before I agree to anything.
I'd suggest even if we all were in agreement to follow his lead, that we wouldn't lift a finger in his favor until the collars were gone.
I mean, what will we do if he says otherwise? I feel like our only bargaining option is to just leave. So
It kind
Peace
of
out,
is.
bitches.
Yeah, that is our demand. That's our line in the sand. If he's unwilling to have the collars removed, or at least assist us in the attempt.
Well, there's also player-wise, obviously Olga's not there, but it's also not to sound dumb, but Vitus would probably think of this. He's mentioned that it wasn't him; it was some other mage guy that he took to explode a collar to. Go to the guy with the intact collars and goes, "How much do you know about these, and how much would it cost for you to get them off of us?" Just cut out Bavgor completely. Just as an idea.
I mean, he might have some kind of agreement with, like, he might know about our situation already.
Yeah. And
Why
despite
not?
not trusting him, which, I wouldn't suggest we do in the slightest, he has been nothing but kind to us so far. He's been forthright with who he represents and what their goals and intentions are, which is more than we can say about Party A.
Well, I'm not saying he's any worse than Party A, or I'm not saying that. It's just one of those. Easiest way to tell a lie is to tell 90% truth. Then the important part of the lie is easy to slip through.
And like I told him, it's like getting the collar off. That's it. That's why I wake up in the morning.
Because I don't think anybody sees a problem with. Here's a big pile of cash to get these off of us. Done and done. There you go. Have fun with your life as a pirate. Yo ho ho.
Right, yeah. If that's all you want is to be a pirate captain, then fiddly dee. You enjoy that.
Go dep your way across the realms. Yar har.
Yar har. Go nuts.
When are we meeting with this person again?
3 days.
Well, then we've got 3 days to find out as much as we can about him before we do.
Why I said 3 days. Because we know who he represents, we know what their insignia is, and we know what their name is. I'm less interested in he, as he's just a voice box. I want to know more about the people he's come representing.
So where do we start?
Seems to be a town of libraries.
Okay.
I also want to talk to Droverson and see if I can find
Oh yeah,
anything
we
out.
shouldn't discredit Droverson at all. We should
Right.
speak with him as well. That's one of the reasons I requested as much time as I did.
Right. Good call. So that's where I'm going to be headed next. We should probably get a hold of Olga and tell her.
Keep her up to speed, yeah. But I agree, we should track him down as well, and we should also do as much research on the what would they call, the Hilt of Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do as much research on the Hilt of Stars as possible.
What does this mean?
since
Alright.
he comes from the dwarf, comes from a lineage claiming to know about Mogden.
Yeah.
He may also know
Well,
of the Hilt of Stars.
Go right on.
He's claiming
Yeah.
to be a blood relative of the guy who pretty much was like he worked at the forge that they made the god spears at, or the god, sorry,
Right.
the god, and he's. Some people have said I had to. I was like reread the Legend of Droverson. He either died battling the demonic hordes so everybody could escape, or he's still there, battling the demonic hordes. But I was one of those. Dr. Vitas, maybe you should take a look at the Godpins website real fast and read that description of what Droverson looks like. That's where my brain was going. What all do you want to catch Olga up with? If you're going to call.
I figured we would meet up. I think we should.
She's got a great bar you can meet up at. It's a bit of a fixer-upper.
Wouldn't drink anything there.
I wouldn't drink or eat anything. Don't really touch anything. In fact, just hold your breath when you walk in. But other than that, the Hissing Rock seems like a great bar to pick up information in.
Well, what was the? Didn't we have a known location for Droverson's son?
Yeah, we do.
We should
Is-
go there.
His name is Droverson's son.
Well, nobody said his name. It's just he's a dwarf who claims to be
Thought I gave
direct
a name.
blood low.
He gave his name, yeah.
I don't remember what it is, so I will give you a new one. Hang on.
I think Droverson is a.
Droverson the Younger. Sorry, Droverson the Younger.
Is Droverson the family name, or is I assumed
Droverson
it
is
was-
a first name.
No.
Oh.
It's just a dwarf in the Merchant District that,
Oh, I'm gonna die.
and he was in the Sword and the Stone.
His friends call him Drovey,
Drovey, Big
the
D,
Drovester,
Drovinator,
Droverino.
Drovalicious.
The Drovemeister.
What's he doing? Making god pins. All
Okay,
right.
Godson.
Minus
God
1,000
damn it.
spirits, all of us for that.
Hey, you brought it on with your names.
Drove.
Hey, Drovey.
I will not have you besmirch the legacy of Dougalshire in my presence.
Alright, what?
His name is.
Aha.
Trying to come up with one that I.
Dougalshire Droverson.
Dougal Shaw Droverson. It's a great name.
Goes to the whole two.
Sorry, these names are terrible. Whoever filled out this generator did a terrible job and they should be fired. Hang on.
Out of a cannon into the sun.
That's right.
I'm glad I found an article a couple weeks back. It was about the math of how big a cannon would have to be to actually shoot someone into the sun.
What'd you come up with?
It was
Was it a XKCD comic?
no, it was an actual paper someone had written.
I don't think that the firing of said cannon would, the effect of firing the cannon alone to hit the sun would be so
lame.
destructive that I don't know if that would be something that they'd
It's-
want to have done.
It's a good
Well,
word.
no, but I mean
Totally.
it's totally it's totally be damned of consequences. It's just the physics of would it be possible and how big of a cannon it would take to actually shoot someone
Well-
into the sun.
That's
Well,
it.
the
Well,
statement itself doesn't specify where the cannon is at the time of the fire.
and it doesn't specify, does it have to be a cannon in the traditional sense, or would it be like a gravity elevator type cannon? So a giant magnetron type cannon that you start and it just whips around the Earth and builds up gravitational forces and then flings it off and then uses the gravitational pull of Venus and Mercury to fling itself into the sun.
Like a
I
pessimist
believe this was an actual combustion cannon.
with
yeah.
black powder and what have you.
With life-
That would be huge. I don't know. Where would you put it? It would take up half the fucking planet. It would be huge. Why are we having this
I
conversation?
don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Droverson's son's name is Tholain.
Tholain.
So
Lane Droverson.
Tholain the drunkard.
Stolane Droverson.
The Droverson is a first name, it is not a family name.
Oh right, but like, so because he doesn't have a family name.
Well, you know,
So
like
he's, like, the
Leif
first-
Erikson. You know, he is Eric's son.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, wait. For those of you who keep wanting to give him a last name, Droverson of the Broken Hammer clan would be who Droverson was.
It'd be Droverson Broken Hammer, if anything.
Okay.
Can it be Donghammer?
It cannot.
Droverson Donghammer is the name of the character I will be replacing Dr. V with when Dr. V eventually dies from running his mouth.
Getting stabbed.
And he will be from the land of.
When a
Dornichar.
pirate captain shanks me to death for running my mouth, I will come back as a dwarf. Named Droverson Donghammer.
Droverson Aspol Donghammer.
Asspole is only for friends of the family.
Anyhow,
So,
so you guys, about this time, it is actually running around about 9 or so that evening. The normal merchants have closed for the day. It's probably time for you to find suitable locations for yourselves for the evening as well.
what about the abnormal merchants? What are they doing?
The abnormal merchants are doing goat sacrifices somewhere in the back.
Well,
That's how we make money.
That's where we need to be. That's where all the cool kids are.
Right.
Just listen to the sound of it.
I-
Scurvy Town.
I really, 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 really want to make like a Gwar-esque metal band now, where, you know, big props. We make everything look out of like steel and forged stone, and we all dress as like D&D dwarves, and just do songs about like digging and statuary. And totally call ourselves Donghammer, or like the Brothers Donghammer.
Donghammer and Associates.
We can all be dwarves
Donghammer
claiming to be
Unlimited.
from the Donghammer clan.
Alright, when we do our 5th Ed stupid game, you're all dwarves and you're all
We're gonna all be
stonemasons.
dwarves. All
Stonemasons.
We are all stonemason dwarves from the Donghammer
Right.
clan, and we've just come to rock.
I love
We're
it.
all bards.
We will be we will be bardish dwarves who have a subscale of stonemasons. So we
Oh
carve
God, that's got a perfect ring to it. That's the name of the metal band. Is we are the Bards of Donghammer.
the bards of Donghammer.
God damn it! I need to put up a Craigslist ad immediately. This is happening. I already got a few friends I can call. Like, hey, do you want to be a dwarf in a band called the Dwarves or the Bards of Donghammer? And they'll be like, yeah,
Duh.
Of course.
clearly.
Alright, so
All right, so we've got to find ourselves some lodging.
you do. Unless you want to sleep on the streets, which is an option. I'd say it's a good option, but it's an option.
Put it out there.
This
Hissing
is
rock.
This is a pirate town. That doesn't shock me. I'm gonna head back to the inn where said Horsey is hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Get
probably
me-
gonna follow him and secure a stable for me and Tambourine.
Alright, so the cost for the stables for Tambourine is 3 gold an evening because he's not a horse and he's a lot bigger. And the stable master is going to have to find meat to feed him. And he says it's a cost of 2 nights up front, so a total of 6 gold up front.
All right.
And he tears off a ticket like he did for Garen. He
Huh.
says, this will give you a discount at the inn, and I'm trying to remember what I called that inn.
It was something that's
The
not the
Worm's
Butcher's
Inn.
Inn. Yeah, the Worm's Inn. That was
Yeah.
it.
The Worm's Inn is definitely it's an upscale inn. Everything is decked out in this very precise kind of shade of purple throughout the whole place. The rooms that are sorry, I should backtrack that a little bit. The innkeeper is a let's see, we've been doing a lot of dwarves and elves. Is a human, and she looks like she's led a comfortable life. She is definitely she's a fairly attractive human that's running the place, and she's more than accommodating. She's like, what are you looking for in a room? Anything other than a bed?
Oh, is she talking to me?
She's addressing the both of you. I'm assuming you came in together.
17
Oh,
babies.
yeah. I'm just getting a stable for me and my bear.
She nods and a little hesitant at the mention of your bear, and she says, "Okay, are you going to be staying in the stable with him, or are
Well,
you
yeah,
staying
he
in a
can't-
room?"
Well, he can't stay in a room, so I'm gonna stay in the stable with him.
I see you have a. Sounds like you have a
I'm a-
very special relationship with your bear. You should probably talk to the stable master about that.
Hey, what happens in the Druid Glen stays in the Druid Glen, okay? We don't ask.
And then she turns to Garen. She's like, "So just the room for you then?"
Yes.
She nods. And any special? What's the word I'm looking for? This is the GM failing at language.
Fail.
Accommodations that you may be looking for?
Only a place to sleep and a lock on the door.
She nods and she's like, well, our cheapest room here at the Worm's Inn with your discount, of course, will run you 8 gold a night.
Okay. Let's see. So that would be 8. Okay, so then I will hand her. Where's my fucking character sheet here? I will hand her. 3, 2, 4. Okay, 30 gold. So that'll be 3 nights, an additional
Can you imagine what kind of
night
mess
for my horse. So that leaves the extras to take care of the horse and any other amenities that might come up.
She nods. She says, "Very good." She hands you a key that has a wooden carving of a dragon on it, and is painted the same shade of purple as the rest of the surroundings, like the drinks and whatnot. And it has your room number on it. And she says, we'll lock your lock and only your lock. It will lock it both physically and magically. So long as you have this key, you should be able to remain safe inside of your room. Please notify us at once if you do happen to lose your key, however.
It's a fancy hotel.
Roll
Is
me
that like
a
what-
spot check.
Spot check!
Spot check!
There we go. Is this me? Yeah, it's me. I thought my spot was higher than that. Alright, roll.
You notice a lot of the patrons of the Worm's Inn look like they have also purchased some company with their room, and a lot of them look very well to do, though. So versus the pirates and the normal like day-to-day people that you saw in Freeport, these look like merchants that have
I'm curious as to
seen
how-
have more than their share of gold. So you have a place. Let's see. Yonder went back to the stable, and what are you requesting of the stable master?
Oh, just what we need for saying some meat, a stable.
So you're letting him know that you intend to stay with Tamara.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
He
Cause they took my 3 gold for the stable, didn't they? Or for me in the stable, right?
well
The echo's
he
back.
was the echo's back. He was under the impression that it was just going to be Tamarine, and that you weren't
Okay.
staying with Tamarine.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I thought that. Okay,
So
yeah, I was confused.
yeah, making the arrangements, he says, "Well,
Oh man.
you don't take up a whole lot of space. If you really are that attached to your bear, I suppose that I can let you stay in the stall with him."
Well, you see, it's since he usually stays at the foot of a bed, and if it were a less nice inn, it's disrespectful to make him stay in a stable if I'm gonna go
So what happened there?
sleep in a nice bed up there.
You've got a big bed if you're sleeping with a bear at the foot of it. I'm just throwing that out there. That's a
Well,
pretty big bed.
It's in a tree, you see.
That's an even bigger tree. Where do you
Oh,
come
yeah, it's a
from
big-
that these are normal circumstances?
Well,
Where have
you know.
you visited? He says,
Well, I understand out here in the desert you don't get a lot of trees, but where I come from, it's just
Oh.
it's all trees as far as the eye can see.
it's trees all the way down.
Yeah. All the way across the sky, double tree bow.
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
He nods. He's shaking his head. He's like, I gotta charge you something. It only seems
Oh, yeah,
fair. A gold a night, I suppose, for yourself. I'm not bringing you any food though.
That's perfectly
You have
acceptable.
opposable thumbs. I'm not doing that. There's a limit. There's a line here, and the opposable thumbs is where it's at.
All right.
If you can feed yourself, I ain't feeding your
That's
ass.
right.
It's that simple.
So, Gingy, where are you making your lodgings?
I am. I would like
There we
to.
go.
Let me think of a good way to do this. I would like to roll bluff and declare myself as a very, very prestigious representative of the National Mages Guild, and I've come here to review a room. If they would like to be featured in the hearts and minds of every mage, within casting distance, that I'm going to write a review, potentially a very sparkling one if treated well.
Is this at Worm's End, or are you at another inn?
I'm with them still. I haven't broke
Okay.
off on my own.
All right.
Worm's End.
Roll me a bluff. She says, "Oh, you must have been the person that we were told was coming. Absolutely. I have your room all prepared for you. Let me just go get you your key, and I will show you to your room." And she kind of ducks back behind in a back room for a moment, and comes back, and she's got this key, and it is on a gold chain, and that she just kind of presents to you over your head. She's like, that is our special key. It is now bound to your unique person, and will not work for anyone else. She leads you up about 4 flights of stairs to what is essentially just a door at the top of the stairs, and she opens it, and your room encompasses the whole top floor of the building. And inside you find every single accommodation that you could look for.
I will not break a smile. I will not frown. Just as robotic, colon lowercase l as possible. It's like, this will do. Thank you.
The bed is a feather bed, and it is big enough for Tambourine to get on and have some extra room. And she nods, and she hands you a bell, and she says, if you need anything else, please feel free to give this a ring. It will summon me, and I will be here post haste.
Excellent.
I did.
And then she excuses herself and leaves back down the stairs.
You look like you needed some help.
I ain't paying for fuck.
Olga is staying in Scurvy Town. Yes.
Well, she was still there. They said they were going to catch her up on what was going on, but nobody really said what was going on. So Olga's still picking this guy's brain at the Hissing Rock and keeping an eye, checking out the locals to see if since the bartender mentioned it, she's politely asking, if you see somebody doing this abyss spouter,
Mm-hmm.
can you casually point them out to me so I know what to look out for?
Yeah, and so as the night has drawn on while you were there, and their meeting was going down, the pace in the Hissing Rock did pick up. A lot of the patrons really didn't do much more than wake up and order something to drink. And chances are you will find them passed out here on some other piece of furniture at some point this evening. Or early morning. He does motion to several of the patrons in the Hissing Rock as the night goes on that are he indicates are users of Abyss Dust, and they all have this I'm trying to figure out what the best way to
Describe their symptoms kind of
describe-
thing here.
yeah.
I got you.
They all have a very vacant look about them, and this almost ashy, black gray powder around their noses and on their hands. You also notice that a majority of them are also smoking what you guess is probably devil grass, along with what they think are inconspicuous dustings of their face and hands with this dust.
They're like the worst cocaine users ever. What?
It
What are you
really
talking about?
it's kind of obvious.
Gotcha. They're junkies. They're hardcore junkies. I love it.
Yeah.
Excellent. You know what? If I can, not it's actually not the bar is fairly much like crowded with drunks and drug users. So this is actually the perfect place to talk. You don't try to find an inconspicuous quiet place. You find a noisy place. So Olga's trying to find a relatively uncrowded corner to stand in, and she was going to call Dr. Vitus.
Okay.
See, because she's done the relaying information, but now it's time to relay the information to the person who would take advantage of the situation.
All right.
You're gonna tell me about the junkies?
Yeah, dude.
I'll-
This town, okay, it's not Scurvy Town, but they've got a serious drug problem, and there's a new current nasty drug. I'm not saying we jump in on being involved with it, but if this city's trying to be a good city and they want hand cleaning it up, we're just the kind of people that we're willing to help for the right price. How'd your day go?
I don't know if I want to be a drug buster. Like, how does that help me?
Oh,
Like, I don't. The plights of these addicts are self-inflicted and beyond my fucking gives a shit.
I'm merely supplying information. You seem to be the only person who would really want this information directly of our group. Because I owe you. Olga's gathering information and sharing it with the person that she owes. Here's what I found out going to the nasty end of town.
Okay.
By the way, where are you guys? Because last time I talked, you went to meet with somebody else and were contemplating working with somebody to find something about the collars.
We are currently at our hotel. Like, all of us are sleeping. Why didn't I set my communication stone to vibrate? It's getting fucking late.
Yeah, she doesn't know. She's like, I can stay out all night, digging out for information if you want. You guys want me to do anything special, or can I find a place to sleep for the night?
Well, no, beyond my comfort zone to just tell you what to do. If you're sleepy, find a place to sleep. If you're not and you want to research on the drug addictions of the locals, unless I can figure out a way to make it look like those drugs are coming from the sea captain and I can usurp him, then I don't
Sea captain? What? Who? Sea? Okay, I'm looking for a sea captain. Gotcha. Okay, night. We'll see you guys in the morning. Olga's gonna stay out all night in the nasty area of Scurvy Town, just to dig information and see if she can have some fun.
Okay.
That club, girl.
At this point this week, I'm probably going to call it because I've been running on making it up as I go information this whole time. So,
Hey, I like it.
those that walked and or watched, I can talk, I promise, and went along with my delusion this week. Thank you. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, hit follow. Later.
Shit.